¿Qué tal? Espero que se encuentren muy bien. Bienvenidos al proyecto Escucha Radical. Este proyecto, como lo han venido siguiendo, se sube al canal Performancear o Morir en YouTube. Y pues hoy estoy muy agradecido con la presencia de Jolanda Jansen de los Países Bajos, ¿no? Welcome to Mexico, Jolanda.
Thank
Welcome
you
to
very
stay here, no? Welcome to accept the talk. That I say is a talk very organic, no? It's that you feeling good and talk about. I think the one thing that we love, that is performance art, no? Entonces very easy and welcome. Jolanda is from Netherlands and is a video and performance artist. This is a little introduced for me, Jolanda, but please, that you want to present by yourself, please.
Thank you, Gustavo. Thank you for having me here and already having a wonderful week. We were in the Zone of Silence project before, and now I'm here at this amazing house. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here and to experience all the energy, different energy here in Mexico than where I come from. Yeah.
Thank you, Yolanda. It's our pleasure to stay here in Cosmos Factory and before in Zona del Silencio, no? I am start with a typical question, no? Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can answer that not in academic way, no?
Okay.
But in Mexico, yes. And maybe we talk about is what is performance art, no? You know, okay. It's a very big question and many have a more time. But for you, Jolanda, what is performance art?
Okay, yeah, that's always a big question. That's the first question you get when you say, I do performance art. What is it? Yeah, and it's like, for me, it's I always say it's like, for me it is, it's like everything in life and presented in one place, in one moment. So, not everything in life, but you can show everything from life in one spot. And it's performance art for me is about life, about reality. It's not about playing or doing theater or doing a trick or doing something you have rehearsed. It's something you step into. So before you do, you think of an idea, a concept, and then you step in your concept, and then you practice it, and then you never know what happens, and you never can know what happens, and that's what I like about performance art, because yeah, all things can happen. There can be wind you didn't want to, and that was last week. No. I wanted to have wind, and then there was not so many, just subtle. And then before I wanted no wind, and there was wind. So, but then my performance became about you have to survive. You have to go through it and deal with what is there, and that's also connecting to life again. Yeah, and performance can be on a lot of places. It can be in art context, like in a gallery, and then you always have the white cube, and then for me it's less interesting actually, because there's nothing around you that can inspire you, or maybe there's a white hole in the corner, and then maybe I can do something with that. So to have a real experience in space, yeah. But if you're out in the, like here, if you're out in this landscape, then there's so much you can interact, and you can feel the energy of the space and connect to that. Yeah, right now. I have to talk louder now because of the, yeah.
Yeah.
Ice car, I don't know what it is. What kind of?
Yeah, and I'm listening to you, and I think it's not difference or what's your do between life and art. No, that you say it's very similar, or for you it's the same, or for you maybe you should to be in one direction to the art or in direction to the life. What is for you?
Mm, yeah, I think my art changed during my lifetime, and it changed with me. I think because when I started to do performance art, I really was I was working on how to present myself. I was a bit shy, I have to say. Yeah, so I can be still shy, and then I felt when I perform, I can take control. And then I was also doing a lot of performances that I was like going into the public, and I wanted to evoke them, and I was really like getting on stage in control, to get the control. And yeah, and then I felt I don't need so much to feel in control. I can also, if I just be and take the time and space and connect with people just by looking. I don't have to be aggressive to them, and then already something is starting to happen. So I let that go. It was a period in my life, and now I try to connect more to public in a subtle way, and also um, to connect more with myself. And in my life, I'm also looking more for how to connect with my true self. And then by being yourself, you can also connect easier to other people, I think. So I think, yeah, it developed through my life, the way of my work, and then, yeah, the way I work in performance, yeah.
Yeah. In this process, no, that you said the beginning, and it's
Yeah.
depending in what the age and the experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that have a preference for one material or materials? I mean, maybe we put a lot on energy. Yes, of course, in the space and in the action. But what about the materials? Do you see a material specific that it's like a company with you in this process?
Yeah, they are here. Yeah, I work a lot with paper. Yeah, and now I made these tulips from paper. And I started to work with this in a workshop in Berlin. It was with Ziele and Carter. And I thought, oh, this is such a boring material. What should I do with it? I was like, oh, this is, I don't know. And then we did exercises, and then a lot of things could happen. You can work with sound, you can work with air, you can work with, you can make it really like this. Now it becomes a shape, and for me it's very transformative. Yeah, and it's everywhere. It's like in all countries there is paper. It's like it could be a global language, maybe even. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I know the first question are very complicated because what is performance is very I think it's depend for each artist, no, how they live that. But what do you think about the elements that should to have the performance art to be performance? For example, I know theater or
Okay.
dance or
Yeah.
visual arts. I don't know.
Um, yeah, I think first of all there's space, and it's not only the space around you, that the space, but also the space that you create and that you take, the space you go into, and your mental space. not only physical but also mental. And then there is time. That's another, and time can also feel like no time anymore. That is free from time. I always like it when you can make a space that feels free of time. Marilyn Arson is the best in that. To be free from time. And another element is the material. Yeah, the materials, of course. First, I started to do performances without material, and then I only used my body. And then I felt so much limitation because, yeah. But that's another thing. I think a lot of artists don't think about, but your body is also something. It's in a way it's limiting, but you know your body because I'm very tall, and I like to work with that also. Can make myself even taller. So the body that's given to you, you have to work with it, but you can also make it, work with it that you can abuse it, make use of it. So if you're very tiny, you have to be present in another way. Yeah. So and another thing, is energy. I think energy. The energy of yourself and your mental energy, but also the energy of the public. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like a lot that you mentioned the mental space, no, and the energy. For me, there are two very special elements to the performance, and I think it's in both sides, no. I mean, to the performance artist, and then to the people that accompany to the performance artist in the performance, no. And for you, this kind of mental space is different, like in the moment, or do you think, or what do you think between a performer or a performance artist and public space? Is the same mental space, or maybe the performance artist is more concentrated, like a trance, for example, no, and the public is more than in receptor? What do you think in maybe that's difference to mental space between performance artist and spectator?
Yeah, I think it can shift. Yes, yeah, because first, as a performer, you have to be the one that is concentrated. Yeah, because, and then you have to be in a space that people see that you are going to perform, and then you need to. Yeah, you can also create concentration by just make an action really quick, and then bam, can also be like that, and then people notice you. But you can also come slowly, and then because of your being, you can people connect with people, and then they see the energy. But I like it when they don't have to be all the time so in the same energy. I like it when somebody is maybe not so interested, that I can connect to that and then change the energy and change my energy to interact with people. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And in this interaction between performance artists and public, do you think that is near to the ceremony or the ritual, or you only say a action, no?
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not like I didn't study to make a ritual. I'm not a real priester, or I'm not that. So I don't want to say that I could do that, because so I don't feel like, but everybody can make their own ritual. So if it's not so pretentious, then you can you can create your own. So in a way, yes, but I don't feel like it's just an action. I think it can be like transformative. And I'm reading this book from
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
It's about from Alexander Roxo, and it's called Heal Yourself, Reclaim Your Voice, Stand in Your Own Power, and then it's fuck like a goddess. So
Yeah.
and for me it's about to become your own goddess is to stand in your own power, and you can and I think in performance you can also connect to this kind of things, and you can do this kind of rituals, or maybe but I don't want to see it as therapy performance, but you can it is connected in a way for me.
Yeah.
And I think by creating an atmosphere of healing and creating, I like a lot to create and to create things that you don't, to see things that are normal and then look at it in another way, and then people are like, oh yeah, that's a nice way to look at it. So to make it creative and to connect with little suggestions, and not to make it. And then on the other hand, I also like to sometimes do long duration of performances, and then I like to go into with one movement. I did once one performance with one movement and over, and then it becomes transgressive. Then it becomes like that you go into another space, and then you can mentally and physically get in another space, and then it's more hard. Then it's and then the people can feel that. But for me, it's not always necessary to go that way, but I think it's also interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And in this exchange between mental space and energy, and sometimes near to meditation, no, or empowerment, no, for the performance artists and to the public too. What do you think about the? I mean, sometimes the public, no, say, I don't understand the performance art. You know, or what is, no, what is this, no, what is this strange image, our actions, and the question is, do you think that the performance should communicate something, or is more open and to the public?
That's a good question, because I always feel like if somebody asks this question of the public, or what does it mean, that I think you need to have an idea before what you want to tell. I think it's better to have an idea what you want to tell, and if it's not what they pick up on, maybe they see something else in it. But I think if you just do actions with no direction, then it can be like then it goes anywhere. I think also when you make a painting, you also have an idea what you want to talk about. So I think but sometimes when you do performance and things happen, then where you wanted to talk about change, and afterwards you say, oh, maybe it was more about this and that in the end. But I think you need to have an idea.
Okay, and in this process, no, the performance to the beginning to the middle, maybe to the end, like a work in progress. Do you think that the public is some public wait a history, or wait a direct message, or what the public need to be more open to the performance art? For example, this is the field that in Mexico, no. So sometimes the public is very for all the audience is very heterogeneous, very different, no. And maybe sometimes talk about the I don't understand the message, don't understand the history, and do you think that it's problem to the performance art or to the public?
No, I think it's problem to the performance art, because you perform for public. So I don't perform only for myself. Yeah. Otherwise, I could do it in my home. Yeah. And one thing why I make these now, these tulips, because I think it's a nice gesture to give to the public, and I'm from Holland, and I thought this can be something connecting. It's something beautiful that they would like. So yeah, so this is a thing I can think of to connect with public, and especially in public space. In art space, it's different. But in public space, to give a gift is maybe a way to connect. And I can also do different things that are, and then I can also talk more, besides that, more about things I want to talk about that are more representing myself. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a way of connecting.
Okay. Always I do three okay. questions. The first is why do you do performance?
Yeah, I started to do performance because I'm not so good in talking.
Okay.
What I do now. That's my feeling. Maybe I grown in that already. Yeah. You always have to. That's also a part of me. I don't want to see myself anymore as somebody that is not good in talking. But I did the Dutch Art Institute. That's a master in art, and we had to show on a laptop, and you had to show your work and then talk about it. And for me, it was so much disconnecting to art, because it's only an image. It's not art. It is the image of a painting, and you don't even see how it's painted. For me, I didn't feel. It was more about representing me as an artist, like representing a company, or I don't know. I didn't feel. And then I started to do action, live action, and then I felt more that was about art again. Yeah. Yeah. And then I also felt that I can talk about me, represent myself better by doing actions. Yeah.
Okay. The other question is for who do performance?
Oh, for who do I look for? Oh, okay. I do performance for art interested people, but not only. I also like to do. I'm not so much into community art, but I like to do performance also for general public in public space, and to connect to people in everyday life and give another viewpoint on very little viewpoint on the daily life, and what do I do else? Yeah, just regular people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and me.
Yeah. And for what do you performance?
For what? Okay. maybe I started to do it for myself. I think I did, if I'm honest. Yeah, to yeah to deal with some kind of insecurity. Yeah, and then I did some workshop with Johannes Daimling, and then he showed me how you with little materials like a stone or like yeah paper, nature. I don't know, all kind of little things. How you can make creative actions. Yeah. Johannes is more an image maker, but also to make a creative image. Yeah. And then I really got into it to to see how you can transform and how you can for me if looking at a painting is very, you can also imagine things but nothing's moving and nothing's changing, and I like it when there is when you go into a space. I also did once performance and there was nothing, and in the end I created a landscape with paper and charcoal and with wood and with ink, green ink, and then I made a whole in 2 hours I totally transformed space and people could watch that with me. Yeah, and then I feel like you go through transformation with public that's visiting, and then for me that's really interesting way of making art.
Yeah, yeah. In each artist have a creative process, no, to 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 present a performance or to do an action, and some artists are more like an idea, a concept, for example, or another artist have too near to the materials, no? One material see and connect, and beginning the process, no? Or a lecture or a dream, or I don't know. What is what is your process? How is your process creative to do performance and present some work? How you start?
Depends on the project. Sometimes when I'm asked to do on a festival, I always try to connect to the theme. I like to not to just do my thing, but also listen what the project is about, and then and space. So the project and the space is for me important, and to see what can happen there, and what is the atmosphere, and how can I connect to that. And I think also, I didn't say before, but I've also, this book is also about female empowerment. That's also something that's important for me in my work. So it's not only about creating and transforming, but also to because I had in my life I had a lot of in my family trauma in my family, and I think for me performance art is also for that, so to reclaim the female power empowerment, and it doesn't have to be like I don't have to slap man or make a fight. I want to do it more in a connecting way to show, and
you come from Netherlands, no? And do you think that Netherlands or Europe have a specific style to perform, or each artist have the own style? What do you think about the because some sometimes talk about the style of the Latin American performance or the style of the Europe performance or the style. Do you think that have a style of or for you is a performing style to Europe specific or not, or is are different ways?
Yeah, I think we in Europe we like to make minimal aesthetic performances. Maybe I see that as a style in Europe, and also, but there's different groups. There's not it's not one. What you have also a group that was art and science,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not about. It's more about the technology. Then it's not about idea, but then and there's a concept, but it's much more not from the heart, much more from the material, or the science, the idea, And then there's also a group that does a lot of lecturing performance. So it's more about talking about philosophy. Yeah. And I found this quite boring, these performances. You're like sitting and listening, and then nothing happens, and then something's going to happen, and then only a little thing happens at the end. For me, I like to see more art connected, more like to the fine arts connected performances.
Okay. And what do you think about the? I mean, when you performing, no, in festivals or in galleries, public space, art space, do you think that is very different to you prepare some work for a different space? I mean, have a one characteristic, one thing similar. No care what is the space, or the space that you say is very very important.
Um, I think I want to connect to the space. I want to first see the space and then make an idea. So it's not that I am like, I want to do this performance and then it has to be such and such space. I don't know, because it's never there, that kind of space. It will never be like the perfect space. I learned doing. For me, the first performance festival was very difficult because I worked with a lot of video equipment and a camera. And I made these big installations in the galleries, and then I had to go on a festival, and there was nothing I would want, and then I thought, but this is also interesting to do with very little. So and you get experience in that. But I think you can perform anywhere if you want to, if you're flexible enough. But if it's not saying anything to you, then it's difficult. You have to work more for performance in a gallery, maybe. Because you have to create an energy, an atmosphere, because it's white. So you have to, I think so. Yeah, you have to. Like that.
The performancear o morir, no? Performancear or die. For me, it's very no. But for you, what do you complete this phrase? No, performancear or and what for you? for me it's performancear or die, something like that. But for you it's performancear or
Okay.
and what?
Performance. Uh, Performance art or dissolve.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think, yeah, dissolve in nothingness, boringness. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Anything very, very nice to talk with you, Jolanda. I'm enjoyed really talk with you and learn and listen. How do you feel the performance art? No, and for me it's important. And what anything more that you want to say to share that you want?
Um, I think no.
O-
Yeah, I
Okay,
can think and make it really, but no, I think, yeah.
okay.
It's okay.
Pues thank you very much, Yolanda. See
Yeah.
you again here in Mexico, in Europe,
Yeah.
or virtual. I don't know. But thank you for sharing and stay here.
Yeah, I'm hope we can exchange more different cultures, countries, and yeah.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think performance art is a good way of exchanging because it's close to the heart, you know, the life. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, Yolanda. See you.
Yeah.
See you.
Okay.